How's it going, Sagittarius community? You know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a special story for this wonderful frequency. Now, before we get started, let me say thank you. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Now, with that being said, this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and the protectors of all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, keep in mind that this is not love tarot here. This channel is based around self-empowerment. And what that means to me is us building stepping stones to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe for Sagittarius. Saggies, I'm with you. I feel it. What the hell happened? Let's be real quick. I'm gonna bring out my fire side. What's happening? Why is it happening? I done seen so many things at the beginning of this year talking about Sagittarius. Some stuff is being released and good karma is coming your way. So why is shit hitting the fan? And it's not only once, it's kind of like multiple times. But then you get something out of left field that is unexpected, like a gift, alignment, or something. It's a really weird roller coaster ride that this frequency has been on for the past few months. And so what I see is darkness has been swirling around the Sagittarius frequency. Others have been testing you, holding on to what's being guided through the divine is what's being tested. So whatever you're trying to do to try and step up yourself, step up your energy, step up your routine, it's all being tested right now. And that's because your truth, the way that you operate through your ethics, through your moral, through your light, through your love, through your compassion, is what's being tested. How do you face it? Or I should say, how you face it will depend on how you interpret it. These lessons, taking things personal versus standing in your personal power, which leads us to reacting versus responding. Meaning you might want to see what's at the bottom before you decide to jump blindly into situations that are far below you. And what this is saying is, Sagittarius, you have been on the road of personal and spiritual evolvement. And so responding and reacting, I've never really used these two together, so it was very different that the guides had brought in these two particular to go verses with each other. Reacting is what we do with a lot of our emotions. It's when we stop listening to a person and all we're finding are things that we can react to, things that we can come back with. And it's like we're trying to create a, how do I put it? All we're doing in that type of conversation is just trying to create our defense and staying defensive. That means keeping ourselves closed off. But when you do that at times, then you tend to act blindly with your emotions. And that's when you will, Saggies as fire signs, we will react and blindly jump to things. And this, looking at the bottom, if you react and you blindly jump into what could be misery, the company of others' misery, then you're going to get stuck down there again at a lower level that you just climbed out of. So this is what that's meaning, is just be careful, be mindful, don't self-sabotage your progress. Trust trust your gut, trust your intuition. Read between the lines when it comes to situations, when it comes to people, and make diplomatic moves. That's the key right there. If you don't take stuff personal and you're not reacting, then you're able to see stuff from a higher conscious, so that when you do make your next moves, it's not out of personal vengeance kind of thing. And that's where, again, you would be keeping company with other people's misery. Be mindful of navigating the energy of others. Remember, misery loves company. That is one of the things. And Sagittarius, let me tell you, it's been a fight to stay mindful lately. And that has to do with grounding ourselves out, bringing ourselves back to the moment of now. When we are not mindful, and the whole thing is, Sagittarius, you're having a lot of anxieties right now. And what feeds our anxieties as humans is not living in this moment. We will tend to live in the past, trying to think of things that we should have said, things that we should have done, stuff like that, versus also living in the future. Starting to create these situations that haven't happened yet, but situations that we're starting to prepare ourselves for. It's almost like we're manifesting more things out of anxieties when we do that. And see, that's where you start to put your defenses up. That's when you start to block yourself off, but then that's when you put yourself in a reaction mode where you're going to blindly jump as well. So bringing it back to this moment now, really focusing on what you're doing. Maybe even slowing down the multitasking will help too at this moment. Just taking care of one step at a time. And if you have to, because you are over focused in every other direction, I say make you a list for the day. Make you a list and check off everything so you can see how you are progressing. Even though your mind could be still wandering, that's still going to bring you back to today and being in today a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. All right, so let's bring in the ancestors, angels, spirit guides. What is it that needs to come out for the introduction when it comes to the Sagittarius frequency? Ooh, well, we catching what people are throwing. Maybe again, that's why we have to read between the lines. Don't be confused, Sagittarius, what we talk about. Don't blindly jump. Slow and steady. Don't be confused about that flow. Something else we have here is 33. Integration. Right there. So, with seeing the snake here, this right here represents Scorpio. Another animal known for Scorpio is the snake, or animals I should say, and the eagle. Scorpio's house talks about transformation through relationships, the 8th house. So whatever you're facing here, Sagittarius, is going along with the vibe with the new moon in Aries, full moon in Libra kind of thing, where you're going to learn a little bit more about yourself by dealing with these others. And this last card here is joy. This is something that you're not seeing, and you're not seeing this integration here because we are confused about how things have shifted, even though, again, you could have seen things that were saying that, hey, things are going to ease up for this frequency. Well, just remember, if you're being tested, that's because you're making moves. Just remember that. And when you start to make moves to tune out of other frequencies, such as dark energy, it's going to come back and it's going to test you. Again, that misery loves company. But what's interesting and what I'm led to reflect on is that these tests happen throughout the day, and it happens through the different people that we meet up with. It could be complete strangers, it could be family members, it could be neighbors, it could be co-workers, it could be friends. It's just being able to flow with what's happening here, being able also, which I think is a really big thing, and I forgot to mention it, is cleansing out. Making sure to cleanse out really good when things are building up to help bring you back into this moment. And it could be cleansing out, doing some prayers, whatever, devotions, positive affirmations as you are cleansing out, getting back aligned with that divine energy, but also with Dharma. A lot of people forget about that universal law. Again, universal law is all about flow. What is it? Everything is nothing and nothing is everything kind of thing. All right, so what else needs to come out? Ooh, stuff that has been popping out. Maybe some that we've been popping into, popping out of, and we fell out of routine with that. And that is honoring your energy. It is okay to have healthy boundaries, Sagittarius. That is definitely okay. But still make sure that when you are honoring your boundaries, when you are trying to continue this growth, that you are doing it through love, light, and compassion. Again, when you make moves to be vindictive, then you're unaligning yourself with the divine's energy, and you're tuning into that misery loves company kind of frequency. So how can you honor yourself? By not reacting, but taking care of yourself. Don't be confused. This is always something that's going to be served up through many stages of our lives. We come to healing of things different times in our lives, and when we thought we healed a wound, we may actually end up healing that same wound again in a different way, say 5 years from the time that we thought that we were through with it. It's just like what I'm seeing is like the phases of the moon. As we grow, our perspective grows and it changes, and it's always shining a different light on things at different times. So say if we have a Sagittarius who has social anxieties, and say they've been working on their social anxieties in one certain way. Well, you mastered it this way. Now the divine is going to ask you to master it another way. So this is going to shift, and it's going to show you other areas that you still need to heal in this type of spectrum. So healing is always a continuing journey, just like taking care of yourself, just like being good. But also being bad is a continuous journey. Not taking care of yourself is a continuous journey. It just depends on where you want to throw your focus and what you want to get better at. All right, what's the last card for the introduction? Woo-wee! All right. This is why the cleanse is really, really important here. I told you that dark energy is swirling around y'all. Right here we have anger that lands onto slow but steady. Again, you could feel like you're taking some steps back because you're not understanding why things are being difficult because you worked on something so much. Well, you're just being tested. This is a part of what's above but also kind of below energy when it comes to your transformation, your evolvement, I should say, not involvement, but evolvement of yourself, your spiritual being. This vessel, your emotional, your mental, It's always constantly evolving. And when you are put into positions where you can't see that lesson, that's when things start to get very irritable. That's when we can get kind of sporadic with our energy, and understanding that, it's all a part of the circle of life. It's all good. I don't think your burdens, what you're having anxieties, are as big as what you're deeming them to be. I really feel like with this one coming out in reverse, the burdens, that you feel like everything is much bigger than what it is. And the last one we have here is ancient wisdom. This is all a part of growing into yourself. This is all a part of you moving forward on your path. And I will take a card from the Moonolgy because the anger did fall towards that. It's all a part of also being able to bring love into a situation, opposed to being defensive right away. Remember, meeting stuff in love, light, and compassion. Holy moly, do y'all have a lot going on here that's been festering, going round and round and round. And this could be things that are happening outside of the home, but you're still feeling it even when you're at home. You're not able to release these burdens again because you can't see the joy in the flow yet. You can't see the lesson. You're not able to see, I would say, even the halfway point on this lesson. And this is what's upsetting you, is you're not finding how to get through it. But I think the fact that you're trying to force yourself through it is what's making it harder. Again, everything is divinely timed, Sagittarius. How can you slow down and focus on taking care of you? What did you forget to do for yourself today that you can go back and do something for yourself? What is something extra you can do for yourself today that will honor you? And it doesn't have to just be going out and buying you something material-wise. This means getting up and actually doing something for your vessel, doing something for your mental self, doing something for your spiritual self, doing something for your, did I say mental self? Mental, spiritual, emotional. And I did mention the vessel. Yes, 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 yes. Because all of that, when you actually work on it and do stuff for it, it fills it. It really fills it. And you may notice that things tend to kind of fall off when it comes to these burdens a little bit easier. Knowing again that it's all good. It's a part of learning about things, learning about yourself, learning how to honor yourself. So let's go ahead and get into the introduction. Universal energy. What is it that wants to be expressed in this introduction? What is going on with these cards today? Oh my gosh. Ooh. So this has to do with what you're believing. Could be the creative way that you want to go. I really feel like we have this Aquarius who's looking off to the right. We have this other dragon that's looking off to the right as well. To me, because we read from left to right, but we also write from left to right, this tells me that you're having a hard time seeing your future and where it's going. Seeing that the progress that you have made is still something that you could still work with to go forward. And what we have here is a Knight of Cups kind of energy. How to take this journey, how to feel about it. It's a lot of how you want to feel about stuff. Then we have a King of Wands energy that you are not seeing here. It's almost like there's a face-off here in a sense. I got this knight looking upon this king. I got this king looking upon this knight. So it's definitely you're being faced with your passions. This actually could have been turning into an internal battle within yourself because of what you're dealing with. And as I say that, look at Four of Wands pops out here. And usually the Four of Wands, let's bring this back, has two people in the original tarot deck. Do you see how this one only has one person here holding on, or one dragon here holding on to something? Holding on to something. Again, with this moon card, we see these same kind of pillars. Holding on to a belief here. A belief here that could be being challenged by another person. Another person, place, or thing that is really putting themselves above others. When I think of a King of Wands energy, I see a little less flexibility. King of Wands, Queen of Wands, known to be kind of teachers in a sense. This person could, or this place could have a very old or strict way of looking at things. But there's something here that you're trying to hang on to that is really at the core. And it's kind of like, in a sense, it's almost like being tested here. It could involve others. It really could involve others. Then I have a Three of Wands. Involve others, definitely where you go. How you're looking at things as well. For some reason, I get that this Sagittarius is not finding, or it's harder for them to find positive here. I don't know. There's something that they are in turmoil when it comes to judgment. It could have to do with these others. There's 3 dragons here, and then I have 3 heads here. This is a certain situation for this Sagittarius that directly has to do, again, with others. This could be a family life. This could be a work life. Be somewhere where you go and you spend time for like a hobby. But what I'm seeing is there's odds ends here. There's definitely a big difference between one versus a group here in a sense. And we have this King of Wands overlooking stuff. I think this King of Wands energy is overseeing stuff as well. Whoever this is. Who... Can I get a clarity card for this King of Wands? Clarity card for the King of Wands. Hold on. Clarity. Okay. Alright, so this King of Wands. We have this card that falls out, Seven of Swords, onto these others. Many choices confront you, only one is correct. All others will bring disaster. Running away from decisions, problems, and commitments makes things worse. Your first instinct will be to try and do everything on your own. Back off at first sign that this isn't working. Selfish decisions bring dishonor and shame. You're overworking yourself. That's what that tells me. And this could be what this person sees too. Wishes and hopes go unfulfilled. Problems remain unresolved. You are unhappy and restless. Difficulty with physical intimacies. Lovers drift apart. Eating and drinking to excess. Possibly robbery or theft of possessions. Someone cheats you out of money. Something we're not seeing. The Moon card again. This falls under this Four of Wands. Your personal faith and ethics will be tested. It is hard to think clearly. You are confused and easily distracted. Fear and anxieties haunt your thoughts. Paranoia, secret enemies, deception. Your security is at risk. Your friends or your family may be in danger. Bad luck for those who love you. Now remember, this wasn't for you. This is to clarify what this King of Wands is doing here. So the person that's kind of overseeing this, it's almost like a matriarch energy, sees what's happening. They're seeing the work that's being put in from your end, but they see the work that's being put from others. But in a sense, this other is distracted with their own things. They're distracted with how things, what I get is how the ducks won't get in a row. It's almost like trying to corral cats. That's what I get there. I don't know, but the Moon card popped out for you, and the Moon card popped out for this person as well. There's a certain alignment that you and whoever this has. This is a higher alignment. This is why this person's able to recognize things. They're recognizing what's happening in this environment that involves you as well. So what it is it's like let's imagine there's a building for all the frequencies. Now for our lower frequencies that reside in corruptness, we're going to say that's the lower 5 levels of this building. This building, we're going to say, goes up to 100 levels. All right. So what it is you and this person are not at these low levels. You and this person are quite high up. And what I'm getting is like number 75. You and this person align on a higher level, in a higher belief system with the way the bigger picture flows in life. That's what I can say. And I think this person recognizes that, and they also recognize what's happening here. But again, they're having trouble because what they're working on the other side of things isn't working out. So they're not able, I would say, to confirm how much they're aligned with what you're doing, how much they see with what you're doing. Again, because they have something else that they're dealing with on the back burner. It could have been on the back burner for a while here, and they have to play some kind of role to be fair with things. Ooh, but I know that this person is in the heat when it comes to dealing with this thing, and this person doesn't shy away from the heat. Alright, what else needs to come out for the present? Well, I mean, that's always good news. You found somebody else here who is a like-minded individual in a sense. You just got a community here that's a little wonky. And what you don't see is this King of Swords energy. There is a King of Swords energy. This is a very diplomatic view that this other has. Now, is this another person that's coming in? Because we have the King of Swords, the King of Wands. We also have the Knight of Cups here. This is another one. This person may actually seek out help, advice. They may actually have to leave whatever choices in somebody else's hands in a sense, or rely on somebody else's guidance, somebody else's knowledge here. But they touch on you, and they touch on this community. And what I see is they're really focused on this too. They're focused on the beliefs. It comes down to this moon energy. What's going to help align you again, or is helping align you, is what you're doing, is how you're operating, how you're not reacting. I could have a Sagittarius who has recognized reading between the lines, not reacting, and still showing up with like 110% every day. And what I see is this diplomatic view is going to take into consideration that, because when you operate in your full truth, Sagittarius, you're gonna flex it, your energy, you're gonna be on a higher note, you're gonna be of a higher frequency. And others who operate in that will recognize that. So keep to your moral compass, keep to your ethical compass when it comes to the things that you hold on to. Because that is one of the biggest things that's being noticed about you when it comes to others, and others making diplomatic, how do I want to say that? It's something about views. It's a diplomatic view of you, but also diplomatic decisions when it comes down to issues, situations that are happening with you. Because there's definitely 3 others who are involved here. It's a total of 3 others, honestly. It could be one person that you don't even know of. What else? What else? Ooh, 8 swords here. I feel like you're not as blind as what you think you are. I think you've had influxes into your intuition, but also chose to, how do I do it? How do I say this? You chose to dance to their song. It's like you're using your Jedi mind tricks here, Sagittarius. That's pretty freaking neat. But you're not fully aligned with this whole understanding of yourself and really having confidence in yourself. So this is why you could go back and forth between this. But what I get a sense is when I say you did a dance for them when it comes to the song that they're freaking singing, showing that you can play along. And you've openly accepted putting on a blindfold to some things. Because again, you have these Jedi mind tricks. You know how to operate with other senses. When it comes to them trying or having you put this blindfold on, that doesn't disturb the things that you hear. That doesn't disturb the things that you feel. It doesn't disturb the other stuff that's coming in at a higher conscious for you. And that's what's throwing off this community. I mean, you got somebody who's trying to act like they're going to throw a curveball at you, but all they're throwing is fastballs. But you've already studied this person, this place, in the mere moments that you've been with it, and you can read what they're going to do before they even do it. Even if they have you put a blindfold on, you already can sense somehow what they're going to do before they're doing it or as they're doing it. Now I understand why that read between the lines came in. Really trust in that gut intuition. Really use that discernment. What is your emotions and what are the emotions of another? And as I say that, I have the Tower here. That could be a part of letting stuff bring down the house. Not bring down the house, that's more for Gemini, but in a sense, create the change that's needed. So we have the Tower, Aries community here. The Aries first house, cardinal energy, Mars. So with this one, let's talk about this new moon energy with this Tower in reverse. So Sagittarius, what you're facing is the opinions of others in a sense versus how you feel about things. And that is something that is brought in by this new moon. This is why your social settings have gone a little bit harder. This is why your focus has been thrown off. What I can say is with the lesson with Aries, the god of war, comes conflict, sabotage, and war. especially when it comes to the opinions of others. Now, with the full moon in Libra, that talks about being able to let go of corrupt communities, being able to move forward, to take care of yourself, to realize when the corruptness is too much and when it's time to stop investing in it and start investing in yourself. So if you want a little bit more information about that, go check out the new moon, full moon interpretation, new moon being in Aries, full moon being in Libra, for an in-depth view on how those moon energies are playing into this month's energy. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy. Now that is you right here, Sagittarius, right here. Now this Wheel of Fortune also can talk about change that's needed to happen, change somewhere, and this wheel has all the signs here. It could be the way that we operate with others, seeing how to overlook the behavior of others, what to do with that behavior, how to confront that behavior, how to move forward with that behavior. That's what I'm really feeling like. It's like an over focus on all these others, going round and round and round and round. Let's go last card for the present. What is the last card for the present for the Sagittarius community? Last card. Oh. So somebody, something, some energy is really stepping out here. We have this Knight of Wands here. This Knight of Wands is not a really evolved person. What I get is there could be a lot of control that this person wants, needs, must have. But whoever it is, they are really, really focused on you. You got people focused that are seeing who you are through your beliefs in a good way. But you also have one that through your beliefs, you, because you confront them. You confront their demons. You confront everything that they don't believe, or that they deemed impossible. So what I can give is you could have achieved a certain level of happiness within you, and you realize that you got to give a lot to the divine, that a lot of your problems you give to the divine, and that you open your eyes to each day with a clean slate. And let's say you're really humble as well. All these qualities bug this person. And that's because they deemed happiness as an illusion. They deemed a good life as an illusion. They deemed being humble as being weak. So you just have to understand the way that you especially think. And it could be a lot through your passions. The way you lead your direction is probably a lot through your passions, fueled by your emotions, how you feel about things. That annoys the shit out of somebody. That annoys the shit out of somebody. Woo-wee, that ain't your problem. That ain't your fault. You know, one of the things that I live my life by, because I'm going to let you know, I can be that positiveness that annoys the shit out of others' demons. I do. I've even had a family member who was like, oh my God, I can't deal with her today because of her positiveness. It happens. It really does happen. And one thing that I realize is their misery is not my problem. Their suffering is not my problem unless I make it my problem. But one of the things that I live by in life that really saves me a lot of headache, especially when I deal with certain clients who are not the best, when I deal with certain people who are not the best in general, is I have this thing that I heard. It's my little golden thing I tell myself is, at least I don't have to take this person home with me. I only have to deal with them wherever that moment's at. But at the end of the day, that's not my asshole. And that saved me a lot of stress, because I could look at a person and be like, okay, I only have to deal with you for a quarter part, an eighth of a part of my day. That's it. And then you're ping, your energy's gone. But if I choose to hold on to everything that you're doing, then your energy stays even though you have walked away. No, we don't need to invest in assholes like that. That's why you sit here, and I'm not saying that you have to put up with somebody being mean to you. No, you have to be diplomatic with the moves that you make. What is that saying? Everything comes out of the wash. Why is that saying around? It's because it's for somebody who loses something. They've lost something, they can't find it. A lot of times when we wear clothes with lots of pockets, we forget it in a pocket and it comes out in the wash. If you ever left tissue or pieces of papers, in your pockets, it comes out in the wash. So this is why being patient and being diplomatic with your moves, operating within the light, love, and compassion of the divine is really going to help. Is really going to help others who are of higher thinking see you. Whereas these other ones who are lower, that's on them. That is on them. I just see that they kind of choose to stay there. And if they're really taking offense like that, and they don't want to learn, they don't want to grow, they don't want to ask questions, that's on them. Because a person who doesn't ask questions is left to assume. And that makes an ass out of you and an ass out of me. So, let them till they're ready. All right, so we're going to go ahead into the block. Angels of protection. Angels of protection. What is it that needs to come out for the Sagittarius's block? Also guide and protect us as we navigate this block as well. I don't know if you noticed that how many times I've had to turn the cards today. This may require you to look at things from another perspective, from a different view. Just keep that in mind. So first thing that pops out is finding love. Something that you're not seeing here. I think a part of the block is, and you could even have yourself blocked off here in a sense, is that you really feel like there's not going to be a good alignment here. Maybe you haven't found a way to see eye to eye with everyone yet. It also could be that these others are really just seeing eye to eye when it comes down to this low frequency. Could be that you are also afraid that that's just the way the whole cookie crumbles here. Again, the whole community is of this. Now, again, what we talked about is having confidence. Speaking your truth. Also, I feel like don't emotionally react. I feel like your confidence here, what you're going to do as a busy bumblebee, going from place to place, doing what you need to do, reporting back. Not reporting back, I don't mean as snitching. I mean coming back to the hive to see what else needs to be done, what else needs to be taken care of. I think how you go about things is definitely something that sets you apart. But this is also something that is bringing the conflict into where you're at. You are you are a soldier. You are a queen, a king. You are something that is of a higher frequency. It moves very differently than what has been brought into this. That's what I get from that. Holding confidence to your uniqueness, holding confidence to the way you move, how you work, how you focus on what you're working on. Now, one thing here in this block with dealing with these others is I feel like you have a problem being able to be yourself around them, fully blossoming into who you are. You may be a little bit different from them, but it doesn't mean that you can't, how do I put this? You can't be able to, how do I put this? It doesn't mean that you can't navigate being around them. Everybody has their differences. And the reason why I'm trying to search for this is because I have this, it could be a butterfly, but I'm getting like a Miller kind of vibe here. And sometimes if you look at some of these Millers, these moths, they're very beautiful as well. They're just a little different. And I just feel like that is one of the biggest issues for you here, is that you're a little different from the rest. And I think that that also plays at them as well. This could be something that has you confused on yourself, something that really pulls out the confidence here. And if you're feeling that, then you're probably receiving how they're feeling as well. This is pulling at their confidence. It's okay to be different. It's okay to bring something different in. It's up to others, you know, on how they receive it. So now I have safe travels. You're confused on how to operate here. You're confused on what to think, also how to feel. Is this going to be a place of peace? Is this going to be a place of turmoil? And I feel like whoever this is, also between the two higher up energies that we have overlooking stuff, that see how you're operating too, I feel like this is going to come down on them as well. And whatever happens in whatever situation that is happening here is going to determine how safe that you feel here and being able to express yourself. But I feel like that is, in a sense, you putting a cap on things. No person, no place should really hold you back from being you. And this is something that you need to recognize here. If this is something that does that, then definitely the lesson here is to step into your power, to believe in yourself, and recognize what you need to learn from this environment, and then moving on. What else needs to come out for the block? I feel like you just want to be you. I feel like you want to be able to blossom in the wisdom that you've gained over the years. You're very passionate about the things that you've learned, and you're very passionate about incorporating that into where you're at now. One thing is you're blocked. Here comes this one, this union here. So you have two cards that deal with others that are not coming out and upright. Somehow we haven't balanced out this yet. What is it that you want to do here? Could it be just fitting in? Could it be finding this balance? I definitely see that you want a balance here. You want to bring in something special, but you want that something, wherever you're bringing it, you want it to match you as well. That's what I get here. Now, it's one is you haven't found it, or you feel like you're not gonna find it. Ooh. That could be a part of the frustrations here. Is it the end of the world if you don't find it here? That's the question I'm being told to ask. Maybe that's something that we need to reflect on. Is it the end of the world if we don't find it here? And we have protection in reverse. Ooh, banish a curse in reverse. I like the way this all came out. Protection, banish a curse, both in reverse. Two things not being seen, while wisdom was the one who was seen and upright. So what we focus on is what we manifest as well. If you focus on a community always being at odds ends with you, then you will always focus on creating a defense here. And sometimes when it comes down to communities, it's not playing defense with your community, but it's playing offense with them. Working with your community, because y'all are supposed to be a team. The more that you are able to unite together, the stronger that this team becomes. But right here, there's something here that's not united. And you're kind of wondering, is this just kind of what's left? Is this the same thing that's going to happen? Is everything that's going wrong really mean that divine has it out for me? You could even be questioning if life has it out for you in a sense with this banish a curse and protection in reverse. I feel like this is why wisdom is here. This is why you're being tested. You're being tested in a lot of different areas of your life. You're having to see, feel, and acknowledge areas of your life that you thought that you had worked through. Maybe you got to a level in your spiritual involvement that you thought you fully protected yourself, but now you're being met with energies that you're not feeling protected. You're feeling at odds ends with the flow of the divine, even with dharma, even with karma. Oh my goodness gracious. Did you evolve and then put on blinders? That's what I think. Involvement is always going to happen. We're just going to find new ways to be tested. Because look at those snakes again. This is going to be multiple lessons here through these others that you're gonna find. And the more you learn those lessons, the more you learn to protect yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But again, wisdom is something that is always going to be growing, and it's going to always grow through the different things that we extend ourselves into. Just know that different environments will bring, again, different views into the things that we need to heal, different views into the lessons that we thought we learned, but now we're relearning with a different view here. Don't close yourself off by feeding into what you feel is bad luck lately. It's not a part of that. It's a part of, again, getting you stronger when it comes to dealing with these others. When it comes to really, really aligning with your passions, the wisdom that you have, your confidence, where you head to, you know, but also still being able to truly bloom in who you are. So, we finally made it, Sagittarius. This has been a big ride here. Oh my goodness. So let's go ahead and get going with this conclusion. Divine and universal energy, please help us out with some positive messages when it comes to the conclusion for the Sagittarius frequency. Right here, right now, the divine, it puts it out there for you. What is it saying? Well, it has to do with the full moon in who? Sagittarius. And this says, look at the bigger picture. And it falls onto these others. It falls onto what you believe. And it even falls onto the one that, you know, you're annoying their demons. Look at that bigger picture. See what the truth is here. See where you need to be optimistic about. What else needs to come out? That is interesting. This all comes back to your beliefs and how these others are playing into it. So what we have that we don't see is take time to breathe out. Remember to take care of yourself. Go for a walk if you feel built up. Really make time to decompress from everything that is building up in you. And what you don't see is a win-win outcome is forecasted. Not everybody dwells in this lower energy that's sitting here with this other or others. Just know that there are other views here. There are other higher up views. Just know that. Being able to even understand if things don't work out the way that you would hope that they work out for. Again, just being open to the flow in that bigger picture, not taking things personal. Again, when you start to feel like you're going to start taking things personal, that's when it's time to take a step back, take a breather, and take care of you. You're too wound up at that time. And that may be the time to balance spirituality and practicality. Ooh, Pisces here. Let's talk about that Pisces house, the 12th house, ending old cycle, preparing for new. Also, you have two different views in this Pisces energy between masculine and feminine. Also between wisdom and a fresh view. How can you balance these views? How can you balance these energies? How can you be compassionate yet progressive? How can you see with the wisdom that you have now, but be open still to learning new things? Instead of judging a book by its cover, how can you be open to the adventures that could still lie ahead, the unseen adventures that you haven't even read about in this book yet? Kind of energy here. Ooh, I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm seeing two more cards. Two more cards. What are the last two cards here? Well, I'm going to just show y'all how that happened like that. So we'll do that. Y'all will get actually a bunch of cards. Holy moly. Alright, so something we're not seeing is a personal issue reaches resolution. Just remember, you don't overly have to hang on to things. You can let it go. Let it go. Let it flow. The end of a tough cycle approaches. That's if you open that door to let it approach. You have to unblock yourself, again, to let anything new in, but to let anything old out. Your dreams need a practical plan. And then a new start is coming. Last card you're not seeing, your commitment is being tested. Whoo, talk about a triple stuffed cookie right here. Oh my goodness, between a personal issue reaches resolution and your commitment is being tested. I feel like, again, the way you approach this, the way you move forward from this, the way you even harbor on this could really influence what your next moves are when it comes to dealing with what's happening here. Capricorns tend to suffer with resisting change. It's a part of Saturn energy. Tauruses, they like to identify with things, the things that they have around them. Just know that the things in this environment, these hiccups, don't make you who you are. What you're facing here doesn't make you who you are. That could be a part of this new start is coming, is this new start into you knowing a little bit more about yourself and what drives you. Whew. That is a lot here. You ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. Let's go on the nines then. 999. Sign to end certain phase of your life and enter a new. Prepare for changes. That's if you want to. That is if you want to. If you want to work through this lesson, if you want to really hold yourself up in confidence when it comes to dealing with sticky situations that, are outside of your control. That's definitely something that pulls out our anxieties, is when we're faced with situations that are out of our control. You cannot control the opinions of others, nor can you sway them. Those are all those people's personal opinions. Things are coming out in the wash here, and other people are seeing it. Again, stay with that diplomatic type of view into this. Really feel when you need to take a step back and take care of yourself. Check out of these anxieties that are swirling around in you and start to focus more on what you're doing, what your goals are, what is leading you. Really focus on that. Be proud that you're showing up. Be proud that you're not drawing back. Be proud that you're not being intimidated here. Even though you could have people who are trying to intimidate you on purpose so they feel like they have power over you. They don't know who they're messing with, obviously. They don't know who they messing with, fire. But they about to feel the heat in this kitchen. Doesn't mean you gotta burn them. Doesn't. Definitely means you can serve them something up that's gonna teach them. But how are you going to teach them? That is the question. If you react to them, then you're teaching them that their misery can suck in more company. Now, if you operate with the alignment of the divine and love, light, and compassion, then there's something here that's going to be a higher up lesson for them and for yourself. That's if you choose. It depends. This is your roller coaster ride, Sagittarius. You choose how you want to ride it. But this is going to conclude it. Let's go ahead and give a thanks to divine and universal energies along with our angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. And I hope, Sagittarius, that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.